Hi, this is Catherine, and we are back for another edition of The Shift. Well, tonight we are talking about you are more than this. You look at yourself in the mirror and say it to yourself, you are more than this. When we think about this whole year, we're quickly approaching the fourth quarter of 2024. And I want you to think about everything that has transpired thus far this year, the good, the challenging moments, and everything in between. Today is September the 10th, and I want you to do a reflection moment. Reflect on everything of this year. And then I want you to think about for the fourth quarter, what do you want to manifest that will set the stage for 2025? Again, I want you to do a reflection of everything that occurred this year of 2024. And now I want you to think about what do you want to manifest this fourth quarter, kicking off October the 1st, because I truly believe what you manifest in the fourth quarter is going to help set the stage for you for 2025 and what is going to manifest. When you think about our topic of today, you are more than this. When we break down the whole subject, when we think about the word you, that means used to refer to a person or a people, right? When we look at the word you, it means one or more people. When you also look at the synonym of the word you, it means all of you. And I really like that synonym when you think about the word you, because sometimes we have not tapped into all of who we truly are. And so, what I want you to do when I say have a moment of reflection, not just only for this moment that you're listening to the show, but every single day, take some quiet time of reflection, moments to yourself. That way, you can tap into all of who you are, all the goodness that's on the inside of you. Unearth those creative gems that's on the inside of you, just waiting to be released. There's so much creativity on the inside of you. There's so much genius on the inside of you, but you haven't tapped in to all of you yet. When you look at the word more, more means a greater or an additional amount of something. When I looked at the word more, the definition said an additional thing or an amount. When I looked up what it means in Dutch, it means many. So the word more means greater or an additional amount of something, but in Dutch, the meaning means many. So when you think about you're more than this, I want you to think about the many facets of your life, the different compartments of what makes up you, you. You have multiple things, multiple opportunities sitting on the inside of you. Sometimes we're waiting on someone to come knock on the door of opportunity for us to open that door. But I submit to you, the opportunity is already on the inside of you, and you just need to step out there. Now, I know sometimes we say, well, I may not have all the resources, I may not have the connections, I may not be in this circle or that circle. You create your own circle and you build. You build from the bottom if you got to, but you build. When you look at the word this, it means referring to a specific thing or a situation. Again, the word this means referring to a specific thing or a situation. When I looked at the word this, it also said it means it is an idea. I thought that really I paused when I looked at that. So when you look at the word this, it could be an idea. When I talk about you are more than this, what ideas have you been sitting on that can multiply into many opportunities for you for the fourth quarter leading into 2025? So when we talk about you are more than this, it's so much more than just a saying or a phrase. When you pick apart, that's why I love looking at the root word and definitions of a word, because you find the greater value in a statement or a phrase. So when I say you are more than this, I'm talking about all of you. All of you have different things on the inside of you that's waiting to be manifested in the fourth quarter that will set the stage for 2025. Again, the word Dutch, the word you in Dutch means many. The many opportunities is sitting on the inside of you, and sometimes it's just an idea waiting to be manifested. So again, the word this means referring to a specific thing. What is that specific thing, that specific idea that you've had in your mind for years, but you're unsure if it can truly happen for you? Listen, I want you to take your eyes off of other people. Take your eyes off of other people and what they're doing, and where you feel you may be falling short. Listen, we all fall short at some point in time in our life. Ain't nobody batting it at 100. crossing every T or dotting every I. That's not even reality. So when you come to the place that you know you don't need to size yourself up to nobody else, you don't need to compare yourself to nobody else. You need to tap into all of who you are. Again, when we look at the word you, the synonym means all of you. The Dutch meaning of you means many. When you look at the definition of this, it means referring to a specific thing, an idea. You are more than this. So you see, when you get to an understanding of who you are, how you see yourself will show up in every single thing that you do in your business, your community outreach, everything at your workplace. How you see yourself will show up in all that you do. It's time to have a new encounter with yourself. You know, we see on social media sometimes it's postings, and there's nothing wrong with that. Somebody will put a post saying, "Let me reintroduce you to who I am," and all. I say, reintroduce yourself to yourself. Because see, if you reintroduce yourself to yourself, you ain't got to reintroduce yourself to nobody else because you're going to automatically show up differently. And everyone else around you will have to adjust. So you know, you don't have to prove anything to anybody else. You don't have to do any of that. You just have to have an encounter with yourself where you tap into all of who you are and allow those many ideas that's on the inside of you to start being released and manifested and executing on those things, right? So the word this means referring to a specific thing. It's action, it's something moving forward. What is the next this for you in your life? You fill in the blank. The next chapter is what for you? What does that look like for you? It's time to have a new encounter with yourself. When you look at the word encounter, it means to come upon or to meet with. To come upon or to meet with. And then it went on to say sometimes it's unexpectedly. It says to encounter a new situation, to meet with, or to contend against. Sometimes you're contending against old mindsets. It went on to say an encounter sometimes can be in opposition of something. See, right now, when you're trying to transition out of the old and transition into the new, it can be opposition. I'm not even talking about other people. I'm talking about within your own mindset. Once you are able to tackle the opposition in your own mindset, it will not even be an issue. And we cannot put our situations always, it's the other person, right? We have to look where we are and look at it. Have Michael Jackson say, look the man or woman in the mirror. I know I have to do that for myself every single day. And if we're going to have a true, authentic encounter with self, that means to come upon, to meet with yourself. So for those that's in business and we want to close out the fourth quarter strong, I know y'all see me putting comments over there, close out the fourth quarter strong, and I mean that with everything in me. But we can't close out the fourth quarter strong if we haven't had a meeting with self and come into an alignment with who we truly are. When we think about encounter, it also means the next phase of your life. And sometimes it's going against the grain, right? It's going against what you normally do, your normal flow, your normal operations. I put up a post not that long ago. If we want our businesses to excel, if we want to reach high levels of success, we have to change our business habits. Do we need to have an encounter with our business practices? Do we need to have an encounter with our old business plan? They got a lot of dust and it's collected a lot of dust and we've had it for years. Do we need to have an encounter with that business plan? Do we need to have an encounter with your business coach, whoever that might be? Do you need to have a session? Do you have a conversation? What type of encounters do you need to have for the balance of this year to put yourself in position for 2025? The next phase of your life, once again, is going to be predicated upon the encounter you have with yourself right now. The internal conversations that no one here but you is speaking loudly in all that you do. So again, remember I mentioned that how you see yourself will show up in everything you do, but at the same time, your internal conversations that no one here but you is speaking loudly in all that you do. It's time to change the narrative in your life. When you look at the word narrative, it means a spoken or a written account, connected events, or a story. I'm going to say that again. Narrative means it is a spoken or written account of connected events. It is a story. What narrative are you playing over and over again in your mindset about you, about your potential business, about what you want to manifest, about your dreams, your goals? What narrative have you painted? When you look at the word narrative, again, it goes on to talk about a narrative can be a work of poetry, It can be a song, it can be something that's displayed at a theater, it can be turned into a dance with the musical piece and the person is dancing it out. But you know what it also said? It says often the narrative is meant to include the whole story. It says a summary of key details about a situation. What is your whole story? Has it been even written yet? Have your story been written yet? There's some authors that's just sitting and saying, I don't know if my book, who's gonna read my book? Write the book. Write the book. And whoever is supposed to intend to read your book, your target audience, they will read your book. Perhaps you're supposed to launch that business, but we've been sitting on the dream far too long. What is your whole story? It's not what has already been. That's your past. What is your story to come? When you look at the word narrative, and I looked up some synonyms, it said to give an account, it said book, chronicle, it says something that's in chronological order. But the thing that really got me when I looked up the synonyms was a plot. A narrative is a plot. It's time for a plot twist in your life. It's time for a shift. It's time for a plot twist of what normally would occur in your day to day is no longer going to be. You're going to shift. And I'm not saying change the core of who you are, the DNA of who you are, but sometimes we've been living below who we truly are. And we are more than this. You are more than this. Your business is more than this. Your program that you want to implement in the community because you're a change agent is more than this. We have been living below our standards. We've been living a mediocre life way too long. It's time out for living a mediocre life. I want to read excerpts from my second book that I published some years ago called Metamorphosis Shadow. And towards the end of the book, I talk about something called purposed, placed, and write the vision. Under purpose, it says, it's time to walk into your birthright. So many times we walk away from our purpose because we allow our past to whisper in our ears that we are not good enough. The whispers continue into the night and rock you to sleep to the point the words penetrate the subconscious of your mind. As you wake, you begin to speak negative self talk in your own ears. Your placement in life refers to the times and seasons in your life. Can we be placed into a situation out of time or before season? Question mark. Yes, that is why it is so important to meditate on the seasons of your life and to be in sync with the next move, not based on an emotional feeling. Write the vision. It all starts with the stroke of your pen. Even if you don't desire to write a book, you can still keep a diary or some kind of running log of the vision that you want to manifest in your life. It says an aha moment of the vision will hit you like as if you were gasping for air because it will be so illuminating. The vision will be so illuminating and it will be breathtaking. And sometimes it can be frightening at times because we're about to go into uncharted territories. The vision that you have been carrying for a long time is now resting on your heart to start executing on what you see. I know that it has seemed to be impossible on many occasions, but you don't have to allow those impossibilities, those challenges, those hurdles to stop you. To stop you. Don't let it stop you. I submit to you that you do have the resources, you have the knowledge, you have the capability to bring the vision to pass. But the thing is, the beautiful part about bringing a vision to pass is that the essence of who you are is going to shine through, and the essence of who you are is what's going to equip you with the tools to make that vision turn into a reality. And if you should fumble the ball, because sometimes we fumble the ball, I've fumbled the ball many times, that just comes with the territory when you're stepping out on a vision. Because sometimes you don't know what you don't know and you're learning along the way, and that's perfectly fine. But if we want to manifest the vision, the manifestation of a person's vision is dependent upon the visionary having a clear focus on the objectives and planning out their strategy to accomplish what lies before them. When one manifests a vision, there is a birthing process that takes place that will transform the visionary from breaking out of their old and breaking into the new vessel. The transformation of this process is absolutely imperative for the birthing of the vision to become a reality. Sometimes the questions may pop up. The question during the transformative phase can be, can this actually happen? Or sometimes in that transformation phase, we can feel the pressure of walking into new territory, or uncertainty, or fear, or anxiety, right? I've experienced all. But at the end of the day, I kept my eyes on the vision, because when you keep your eyes on the vision, it's going to stretch you out of your old habits. It's going to stretch you out of those old ways of thinking that's hindering forward progress. It is not the time to digress back into a comfortable zone. No, it is time to transform into the new. At this moment, you are creating barriers. Are there any barriers around you that's hindering forward movement? Listen, let me tell you something. I want you to speak to those barriers, speak to those challenges, and say, you know what? It's about to be a new season. I am about to walk into my new season. The question is, are you second guessing yourself? Sometimes it's not others that second guessing you. Sometimes we can second guess ourselves. My hand is raised up 2 times. Do you feel inadequate for the calling that is on your life? The vision is waiting for you to step into your right place. The truth is that no visionary is ever really ready to step into the unknown and be totally clear on how to execute the vision. However, once you begin taking one step and the next step and the next step, you will learn how to implement action steps for forward movement in the manifestation of the vision, right? As you move forward, the vision will be revealed to you, and nothing can stop it. One of the things I want you to keep in mind is that one can become stuck and paralyzed due to unforgiveness, guilt, doubt, and shame. Today, release yourself from any stronghold trying to keep you captive. Who is in your inner ear? And I'm going to wind down on this note. And this is, again, in my book. I've been reading excerpts from my book, Metamorphosis Shadow. You can find it on Amazon. When I talk about who's in your inner ear, it talks about who is your core team. Your core team is the central part of your movement in your journey to your destiny. The nucleus of your team contains the seeds that will contribute to executing on your mission. Who's on your team is very, very important to completing the task that lies ahead. The team comes together to achieve a common goal. So I want you to think about who's on your team and have a team meeting. If you haven't had a team meeting all year long, I think this is a good time before the fourth quarter to have a team meeting, right? You have to find out the current existing team. Is it congruent with where you're going? To consider who should be on your team, is this is the perfect time for that? And not everyone can be a part of the journey. Yes, it will be hard to transition out from the old and into the new, but it's necessary. In this season, it's important to take a personal time to yourself, for yourself, and to access who you are, all of you, so you can continue to grow in wisdom, so you can continue to be effective in what you've been called to do. Again, today we were talking about you are more than this. I hope something that I said resonated with you. In the month of October, we're kicking off our group coaching series. It's kicking off on the 2nd of October. If you want more information, give us a call, 443-799-6529. You can also send me an email, ct@katherinetrotter.com. Again, that's ct@katherinetrotter.com. And again, the excerpts that I was just reading towards the end is from my second book called Metamorphosis Shadow, which you can find on Amazon. Again, as you know, I'm probably going to say it like I always say it, the best is yet to come. And I truly believe that. And you have to believe that for yourself. And more importantly, you have to speak it out of your mouth. And then you got to go to work. You got to execute. With that being said, we're going to wind down this episode. If this impacted you, I ask you to do one thing: share it with someone, share the link, so that someone else will be reminded of who they are and be reminded that they are more than this. Till next time, CT Speaks.